We're recording. Okay. So I personally don't have much in my report because a lot of what we're going to talk about is later on in the meeting. That's really it. We're almost to spring break. If everyone could really push our events and try to get to the ones that you can and just let people know about them and spread the word, we'd really appreciate it because we really want people to be able to participate. And I know it can be hard. We do a lot, and we also do it at a bunch of different times in the semester, so it gets kind of hard to navigate it all. But if you can make it to things, or if you would like to just spread the word, we'd greatly appreciate it. So we're going a little out of order today, just to accommodate everyone. So we're actually going to start with Dylan, who's going to talk about our upcoming meetups.
Okay. We have 2 this month. The first meetup is this Sunday, March 3rd at Concord. The address and everything is on our flyer posted on social media, but it'll be at the, I'm probably mispronouncing this, the Cabarrus Brewing Company. I heard it's really nice, pet friendly, and they have, we can just chat, hang out. And then the second one is March the 17th? Yeah, Sunday, March 17th. That meetup will be at a Starbucks in Wilmington after spring break, of course. So you'll have a break to, you'll have some time to go to both. So I hope to see y'all there.
And do you have the location for the Wilmington one?
The Wilmington one, according to the flyer, it is 1406 Barclay Point Boulevard in Wilmington. And yeah, I know there's a lot of Starbucks in the area.
I think that one, for anyone who's in Wilmington, it's the Starbucks near the Cameron Art Museum, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been there, so...
It's in the middle of town, so...
But if you need help, just email me, and we'll figure it out together.
Okay, and I know...
Oh, thank you, Allison.
Yeah, she's good. Allison's on top of it. And I know we also talked about, hopefully in the next few weeks, pulling together a triad area meetup, and we're hoping to maybe do that sometime around the Cora Paul Bomar Summit, so that everyone who's here, including alumni, we can all kind of do something together. So we will hopefully have that up too. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to jump back to Tori for the Vice President report.
All right, bye guys.
Okay, I actually have kind of a lot to say, so bear with me here. First, I attended the faculty meeting because Melissa had some conflicting plans. Hey, thanks, Mayla. But basically, I'm just going to run through what I heard that I think was important to, no worries, Erica. I'm going to run through the faculty meeting that I attended just to give you guys an update. For the Cora Paul Bomar Summit, there's a website. You can go check it out if you're really interested. That kind of gives you information about what's going to be covered during the event, along with kind of just to get an idea if you are willing to attend the student showcase, which we kind of are trying to push right now, because the student showcase is a great way to get some more professional development experience by presenting a poster. It's free, and we'd love to have you guys come. They're actually talking about doing an event on Thursday, the night before the first day of the summit, and they're thinking about having a reception for the speakers that they've arranged at one of the theaters in downtown Greensboro, maybe an open bar. They're talking about some of the professors ending their classes early to attend this, so if not, at least you'll have an early class that night. I don't know.
We'll see.
So that would be, I believe, the 28th of March. So the capstone revision, switching gears, they're kind of working on meeting weekly to work on a rubric to revise the capstone course right now. So they're talking about students who have done a practicum before they get to their capstone. They're talking about making students do another practicum in their last semester, regardless of whether they've done it or not. But this was in terms of just really firmly encouraging students to do another one. They're not saying they're going to, I guess I was wrong in saying that they'll make you, but they were talking about it like as a case-by-case thing, and that wouldn't affect us and anybody until 2020. But they're also still having some issues with late registrants to practicums, so just get in touch with Dr. Archer Capuzzo if you haven't already and you need to. She'll be willing to work with you on getting that going. Another thing is, just a little side thing, is they're trying to rearrange salaries for the adjunct professors. That doesn't really affect us. And they're also getting training, which kind of affects us because they're putting in a request to get more training for working with underrepresented groups, targeting specifically online teaching. So I think that's really shows initiative of the faculty to try to, they see a gap in certain areas and they're trying to fill them as best they can. So some people are going through post-tenure review, doesn't really affect us. 339 students were registered as of census day in the department, and they're talking about tightening the admissions process because the graduate school itself made changes to the admissions process. They are going to be doing summer admissions this summer. I don't know that they did that last summer. They are continuing rolling admissions, but haven't been doing much recruitment, and they're going to start evaluating where they want to start pushing recruitment efforts because the largest, this year has the largest group of out-of-state students the department has ever had. And so they're thinking about doing some further emphasis on out-of-state recruitment. And then to wrap it up, the school library had a little bit to say about working on advocacy in school libraries and kind of getting the word out for the importance of school libraries. And are there 2 materials classes required for school librarians right now?
No, both are required.
35 and
Materials classes.
There's
There's 35 the tech class.
I think if your school library, both of those are required. If you just want collection management, you have to take both as well if you're like public or something.
I think, okay, so I'm sorry, I just can't read my own notes, guys. It's fine. But 2 materials classes required is what I have written down, so I'm thinking that they're going to switch to making school library students take both 617 and 18 as the track instead of giving the option for 610, but I am not sure that that's what that means, so I apologize in advance. Just check with one of your advisors if you're concerned about that issue, but I don't believe that would affect anybody in the program right now anyways. So they're also working to revise the school library handbook, and they're working to begin this project about book, like kind of reader's advisory. They want to start a collaboration with the Teaching Resources Center downstairs in the School of Education building. It's a mock library that we have here on campus, and they're trying to get some of the TRC graduate assistants involved as well to do kind of a best books blog or database. They're not really sure of the format yet, but I think once we learn more about that, LISSA could definitely lend a hand if we want to. I mean, I think a lot of our school library students who are involved in LISSA could definitely benefit from that opportunity. I know it might not seem like there's a lot of opportunities for school library students in LISSA. I don't know, maybe some people feel like they're being counted out. So that could be a definite opportunity for those students who are looking for something else to kind of get under their belt, put on their resume. And last but not least, the office manager here, Greg Hoffman, I'm sure you guys all know him from the listserv emails. He has decided that they're going to revise the final form or the final plan of study forms, because essentially when you go to register for your last semester, you have to fill out a final plan of study form that's not complete, and then when you register for the capstone, you have to fill it out again. And so it's a little redundant, a little, like, it doesn't make any sense, essentially. And so they're going to revise that process and kind of change it up so it's not so silly.
So we're just actually, we're going to come back.
Okay.
So we can cover all of that.
Perfect.
Stuff. So if...
Do you want to move the camera to her?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I guess just your secretary report, and then if you want to recap the boys and girls story time.
Hey, everybody. So Secretary's report basically is just going to include Diversity Day and then also a recap of the Boys and Girls Club. So for Diversity Day, which is tomorrow at UNC Charlotte, Tori, Nayla, and I, along with a few other GAs, I believe, will be traveling to UNC Charlotte to present our poster, which basically explains everything we've been doing this academic year on the diversity initiative. And so we're going to present that and attend a few workshop sessions while we're down there, so we're really excited about that. And we'll probably post the poster to social media, that way everybody can see it as well. And I think UNC Charlotte is going to post it on their website and possibly add it to their institutional repository. The Boys and Girls Club event that we went to last week was a huge success. We feel like the kids were really excited about the books that we were reading. After we finished, they actually asked us to come back, so we're hoping to schedule other events, one every month until May, the end of the year. But it went really well. We worked with K through 2 students, and we basically just read books to them about Black history, both events and biographies of different figures in throughout Black history, the notable things. So, and then also some picture books by Black authors as well. So it was great, and we had a good turnout of volunteers as well. It was enough to cover the number of kids we had. So we feel like it was a success, and we look forward to doing that again.
I like helping kids.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Okay, so thank you for that. And we will jump back to Tori.
Thank you, Nayla, our ever-present camera woman. Yeah, just to follow up on what Ashley said, I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and I actually had some kids who, like, made story time their own, and they were reading the books out loud at the end, and it was really fun to kind of see them want to be engaged and want to read. So I would recommend for anybody who's in the Greensboro area or who wants to kind of make a weekend of it. It's a really fun experience. So when we announce that again, be happy to have you. I look so dark.
I think it's because, you know, they have the light in the back.
Yeah.
Against the light.
Sorry. Okay, so for the Graduate Student Association meeting, there's a lot here that kind of just talks about graduate students perceived on Greensboro campus, which affects all of us because even if you are online, I mean, you still matter to this campus, and you're still considered, you know, a full student. So I think this is very important for all of us to know. So basically what's been going on is the vice president of the Graduate Student Association has been trying to fight for more of a voice on campus for graduate students, because from everything that he's kind of told us and mentioned is that graduate students are not taken seriously at higher level administrative areas on campus. We're talking chancellors, provost, that's the computer over there, Nayla. Sorry, we had a technical hiccup here. But we're talking, like, the people who matter, like, who are seen publicly and represent UNCG to the wider public, don't really think about graduate students a lot. And we actually make up a kind of a sizable chunk of campus. So they're working to get a campus climate survey done for graduate students. There was one that was just done for the undergraduate students. They do make up the other larger portion of the campus, so it makes sense. But they're working on getting a survey out to the graduate students to kind of test the waters, see where graduate students feel like there needs to be some extra work done, whether it be I don't know, funding, student fee revisions, anything like that. So as for the funding, there are a lot of applications through GSA already with funding, so if you guys are still interested in that, they're encouraging us to still apply. So if you are going to anything that you need funding for, please let us know, and we can kind of facilitate that process for you. The treasurer did make a statement that I'll talk about a little bit later, but the GSA applied to the SGA, so they applied to the Student Government Association for funding and received a grant, and that'll kind of give us even more funding to work with as an association. And then the Vice President will be speaking with the Provost and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Dana Dunn, to speak about graduate student concerns. So he asked anybody to email him if you have any concerns. So we can also facilitate that. If you guys have concerns, we'll definitely give you his email address if you're interested. And there will be no questions of like, what were you going to say? Like, just let us know if you have something you want to tell him, and I can give you his email address, easy peasy. So they're also pushing a graduate student week, and they really are encouraging people to get active with the Graduate Research Expo that's coming up. So I encourage you guys to kind of search that on UNCG's website and look into that. It's a great opportunity to win $1,000. So all you have to do is present a poster and talk about it. So it's very, very easy. So they're also looking for people to join the Finance Committee. They have 2 members right now. They need a little bit more. All the Finance Committee does is they look over the paperwork that people are submitting for funding and saying, hey, this person deserves it, or hey, this can't go through. So they'd like 4 more members, and they're adding on an extra duty just for the time being, that they would like the Finance Committee to review the finance section of the GSA's Constitution and make recommendations to an ad hoc committee. So this got really complicated, and there were a lot of questions during the meeting, so I'll try to cover this as much as possible, and you can email me if you have further questions. But basically, they're creating an ad hoc committee which comes together for one purpose and then disbands. The ad hoc committee will review the GSA Constitution, make any changes that they believe are necessary, because a lot has changed since it was actually written, and the finance section specifically has changed exponentially along with other roles. So if you're interested in signing up for that, please let me know. Yes, that is my email. So these are great opportunities for you guys to get extra experience just to add on your resume if you'd like it. But obviously you're not obligated to do any of that if you don't want to. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, big deal, GSA elections. If you're interested in running for a position in GSA, all positions are open. That includes president, vice president, treasurer, and marketing manager. I don't know his actual title. He's the guy who sends out the social posts, the minutes, everything. He has a better title than what I just said. So, anyone can do it. Just you can either email me or find their email on the UNCG website if you're interested in that. And then finally, they're also doing a Graduate Students of UNCG campaign. It's kind of like it's inspired by Humans of New York, and all you have to do is fill out a Google Sheet and just answer a couple of questions, send a picture in, and it actually gets you exposure not only to your research, but also your department. So if you're willing to do that, you can email Anderson at GSA, I believe it's, well, fudge, now I don't have it. Email me again, and I'll get that to you. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, so the elections again, like I said, that's the biggest takeaway. There are elections. You can get nominated through this Friday. And if you're interested in that, please feel free to email me and I can get you guys on the right route for that. And my last and final thing, and I'll finally stop talking, is we actually are still looking for questions to pose to our March 20th speaker, Katrina Davis Kendrick. She was voted ACRL's 2019 Librarian of the Year. We really, really, really need you guys to send in questions to that forum. It's on social media, but I'd like us to kind of post it again if possible, and I'll get with Allison about that later. But basically, this event can only happen if we have questions, and I would feel very awkward if she made her time in her schedule and we only have 2 questions on the form right now. So if you guys would just take a couple minutes out of your day, think of some questions you have about diversity issues and librarianship. You can ask her about what she thinks. She has a background in research in diversity. She's written a couple of publications about it, like books, not just articles. So I would really, really, really appreciate if you guys could kind of go in there, add some couple of questions. We'd like 10 or 15 if possible, just to give her a variety and so that she can have some meat to it. But yeah, so that's my big thing. If you have not listened to anything else I've said, please go submit a question. Just one. If 15 people, just submit one. That'd be great. So that's it for me.
Okay. So next up, actually, Nayla, it's you.
Oh, okay. Hey, everyone. I don't have very much to report on because we didn't spend any money since we went the last time. So our balance as of today is still $968.08. Yay. We will be ready for starting the fundraiser soon, though. We're kind of like planning on setting it up in the next couple of weeks. And we're planning on selling T-shirts for $25, and they're going to have like the pun that we voted on the front, and then the 30 years LISSA logo on the back. And they're going to be navy with a yellow font, so sort of the UNCG colors. Going to go with that, and yeah, we'll be sending out information about that soon. Getting there, slowly but surely.
Okay, and then since Ashley already spoke, it's actually Allison, Communications Manager.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have much, we are growing in our social media, so that's awesome. It's always trending up. I had some numbers a couple days ago, and it's grown since then. So we have 423 followers on Facebook, 292 on Twitter, and 170 on Instagram. So it's pretty awesome. And I just wanted to remind you all of our resource website. If you haven't checked it out, there's a lot of great resources, not just about LISSA, but for courses, professional development, and job searching. There's a whole bunch of free webinar opportunities, current topics in LIS. There's just a bunch of stuff. But one thing I wanted to highlight was the network that we have built with area librarians. They're actually all over the country. And that you can reach out to these librarians if you just have any questions, if you're interested in that particular site that they work. So I'm going to throw the link up in the chat, but if you just want to check it out, and those people are willing to answer questions or provide any information for you.
Awesome. And so we definitely encourage everyone to use that list. So I actually just kind of promoted it to a prospective student. So we just want everyone to be able to, especially if you are a distance student and you don't really have like Greensboro local opportunities, to really be able to kind of set that stuff up. So jumping ahead, because we've talked about a lot already, it's actually just the next CritLib meeting, which is this Saturday from 11 to 12. And we're in room 302 again, right?
Yeah. And there's an article that you can read beforehand. No pressure if you don't want to. I've read it. It's not hard. It's very conversational tone. I know we all read a lot of research articles and we're like, oh my gosh. But the one that we've set up for people to read it's very easy to read, and it kind of gives you a background on critical theories. So.
And then, so, that's going to be the next thing. An update on, so our student chapter of the year award application is due this Friday. We've been working diligently on that. We also just wanted to just let everyone know that we're hopefully going to have it submitted by Friday on time. And fingers crossed we get chosen again for student chapter of the year. And as a last thing, if anyone has any grants, awards, or scholarships, any like leadership opportunities that they did in the last year, any like presentations they were a part of, any conferences they attended, if they want to send anything like that that shows involvement in really anything in the LIS field that correlates with being in this program, if you could send it to either myself or one of the other exec board members, because we'd really love to include that in our application just to show just how much our students do. So please think of anything you've done that you would like to include. We're more than happy to put it in there and just show what you guys have done. And so really the last thing is just going over all of the upcoming dates for the semester. We've been doing this just to kind of cover, because we have so much going on, just to keep everybody updated. So the first thing is the Crit Lab meeting this Saturday, obviously, that we just mentioned, from 11 to 12, and all that information has been sent out on the listserv, actually, I think within the last 24 hours, and also up on social media. And then March 3rd, this Sunday, is the meetup in Concord at 1:30 at the Cabarrus Brewing Company, and that direct address, if you need it, is also up on social media. And then we have spring break, finally. I know we're all excited for that. And then once we get back from spring break, we have a whole bunch of stuff lined up. March 14th is actually our next upcoming diversity speaker, Gerald Holmes, who is actually our diversity coordinator here at UNCG at the Jackson Library. And that will be from 12 to 1 p.m. in the School of Ed Building 302, as well as streamed online, as all of our events are. And then March 17th is the Wilmington meetup that Dylan mentioned, and that's at noon at the Starbucks in Wilmington, with the official address is on the blurb, as we mentioned, if you need it. March 20th is our next diversity speaker after Gerald, which is Katrina Davis-Kendrick, that Tori mentioned earlier, and that's from 2 to 3 p.m. Do we have a room for that one yet?
I believe that one's in 302 as well.
Okay, so it should tentatively in 302. We're just going to double check that.
I'll email Ashley.
I believe it is, but just in case. So for right now, write in 302 if you're going to be here, also streaming online. And then we're actually really excited about March 23rd is a Saturday. Right after that is a mindfulness workshop with Ashley Moy that Allison was able to set up. That's from 2 to 3 p.m. Tentatively, she might go to 3:30, depending on how it goes. And that is also in School of Ed Building 302. So that's really just an introduction to mindfulness, which is a really big movement in a lot of, especially school libraries and public libraries. We actually have a mindfulness session, I think it's weekly, here actually at the Witherspoon Art Museum, and just kind of a way to incorporate that into your library and just what that kind of means. And then after that, from March 29th.
Do you mind if I interject? Sorry.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so Ashley also is going to talk about, with mindfulness, she's kind of going to focus on emotional intelligence as well. And she is a former law librarian and now actually teaches K-2 students mindfulness. So she's going to do a lot of experiential actually mindfulness with us. So it might be kind of hard if we're at distance, but it'll be fun and we'll all try it out. And so I know she's really excited, and she's driving from Charlotte, so we appreciate her time.
Awesome. Okay, and then March 29th through 30th, as we mentioned, is the Cora Paul Bomar Summit with the tentative reception that Thursday night beforehand, the 28th. Officially, what is up on the calendar is on the 29th from 10 to 3 p.m. in the Alumni House is going to be the various speakers that we've lined up for the summit. And then on the 30th, that Saturday, is from 10 to 2 is the alumni luncheon and the student showcase, which I know Allison put the link up in the chat, but if anyone has any poster that they would love to present, we would really love to have you in the showcase. It doesn't have to be like amazing published work. It can be literally any research you've done. It's just a way for us to show to alumni and faculty, you know, what we've been doing, and especially when we're showing it to alumni who might be giving money to the department. They like to know that students are really engaging and doing these kinds of things. If you're worried about the cost of the poster, the department will pay for your printing. So if that's a barrier, please know that they're more than happy to cover that. So we'd really love to see a lot of participants in that so we can kind of show what our students are doing. And then the last two things we have on the calendar, April 3rd is the Refugee Young Writers Camp workshop, seminar, what have you. What's her name again?
Amy.
She works here with the School of Ed, and she facilitates the Young Writers Camp, and she's going to talk to us about how they have kind of a community voices workshop that they use with refugee students in the area. So that'll be an interesting kind of approach to this whole diversity and inclusion, how we're supporting the whole in our own voices kind of movement. And that will be from 11 to 12 p.m. April 3rd in School of Ed 302. And then the last thing right now is April 10th. We have Chris Gigenti, who's a former student, who will be talking about the leadership and civic engagement challenge that the university has. And that's going to be from 11 to 12 in room 302 here in School of Ed. And he's just going to kind of walk us through the challenge. He completed it prior to graduation. And so he just kind of wanted to introduce students to it and let them know how it works, if anyone is interested. So we will have that as well. So that's everything from now until April that we know of. If we add anything else, we will definitely let everyone know.
Ashley confirmed that 302 is confirmed for the March 20th speech.
Okay, yeah, so
From 2 to 3.
Yeah, Katrina Davis Kendrick, 2 to 3 in room 302 for March 20th. So we have that confirmed. All right. Do we have any new business or anything anybody wants to bring up now?
I forgot to mention something, the shipping that the department covers. So we were able to talk to the department, and they agreed to cover the shipping costs for students who order T-shirts for the fundraiser online for our distance students, so you don't have to pay for the shipping, and you know, the department was so nice to cover the shipping costs. Yay.
Yeah, so any of our distance students who want to order a T-shirt, you'll just have to pay for the T-shirt and that's it.
Yeah,
so
no
and
shipping.
we will mail it to you.
No shipping. We're like Amazon.
Yeah, you got like
LISSA
Amazon.
Prime.
So just be aware of that as soon as we throw the fundraiser out for everyone to start purchasing T-shirts, we will mail them to you, and we'll maybe put like a cute little note inside of it for you. You know, we'll see.
I have a lot of Valentine's Day stickers left over, so if anybody's interested in some sloth stickers, let me know.
We'll decorate your package for you
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
So if there's anything else, anyway?
See, we're better than Amazon. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, Erica.
All right. Well, since it seems we've covered everything and no one has any new business, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Okay.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks
We
for coming.
appreciate you taking the time out of your day. No problem.
We try. We do what we can. Okay. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Oh.
We're not going to cut you off, don't worry. I do just start recording it.
I guess I'll shut down. No, never mind. Do it after.